And welcome to my first ever question and answer. On Facebook, I told you that you could ask me anything, and today I am answering those questions. So grab yourself a cup of love and sit down and get ready for the ride. The very first question comes from Rubina, and it is, how do you treat your acne scars? So far, what has worked best for me over multiple years has been just Retin-A cream, something that has a retinoid in it that goes into your skin and actually rebuilds that collagen that could be divoted or pitted. And something I've been trying recently as guidance from my friend is tea tree oil. Dilute a little bit of tea tree oil. It's a natural antiseptic and has been really helpful for my friend's piercings. So I have been using that on my piercings as well as my acne scars. And I'm gonna see how that goes over the next couple months and bring you guys the updates. The next question is from Disponia, and it says, what is your best advice in terms of how someone could stay confident and positive? I have dealt with a lot of different issues in my life, and I've experienced a lot of things that no one should have to go through. And I have learned a lot from those experiences. And there was a time in my life where I let those things get me down. I kind of wallowed in my pity and in my stress and in the sadness of the universe. But I kind of came to terms with the fact that me being unhappy isn't going to help myself or other people. For instance, when it comes to global issues like the environment or wars, I am really sensitive to that kind of stuff and it really hurts me. But I could sit here and be completely negative and sad and see this world as a very dark place. Or I could sit here and I could choose to love and be positive. And even though these things are going on around me, I could take initiative to do something better. And I have found that me trying to live positively and spread that love brings up the negativity that is kind of radiating elsewhere. Specifically when it comes to mental health, that's not something I've spoken a lot about. It's definitely something that I will be addressing more, especially as I am coming out of some very difficult things and coming to terms with some very difficult things that I've dealt with. And I understand that chemically, my brain or other people's brains who have dealt with depression or other psychological disorders may be chemically different. And how are you supposed to stay positive and happy when you're literally battling everything else that's going on around the world and what's going on in your own head? And that has definitely been a struggle for me. I haven't talked about a lot of the experiences that I've had in hospitals and things along those lines, but in a very negative, twisted way, I'm thankful for those experiences because wanting to lose everything has given me the ability to appreciate and love everything. And unfortunately, I had to learn that lesson like a really hard way, but it wasn't until I gave up on life that I realized how beautiful it is. But I would say that your mentality creates your reality, and your inner dialogue narrates everything you see. But because this is your reality, it's in your head, you do have some sort of control over it. And the thoughts that perpetuate your life and everything you do really shape the way you see what's going on around you. Habits are hard to break, but if you can try to see the positive in every situation, you'll be more grateful for every situation, and I believe that that'll make you a more positive person. The next question is from Stacy, and it says, do you think that you'll be writing a book anytime soon? I think you should do it because you inspired a lot of us, and it would be cool to have some of your makeup tips written step by step. Well, first off, thank you, Stacy. That's so nice of you. And I actually have two little announcements. One, I am co-writing a book with a collective of many other authors. It's a compilation of crybaby writings, and I specifically talk a lot about anxiety, mental health, love, and it's poetry and prose that I've written and contributed to that. And food, because who doesn't love a good burrito? Something else that I'm also working on is a digital magazine. I talked about this on Facebook as well. I have so many things to talk about and to say and to communicate to you about, but not all the time is a video the perfect platform for that. And I know I haven't spoken a lot about mental health or about relationships, and for me, writing poetry or just writing has been a much better outlet for that. So I am creating a digital magazine which comes out on January 16th. And so there are articles written by other people that I have found inspiring and motivating, such as the Selfie Spotlight and tips on diet and nutrition and healthy living and beauty and acne and all those things in between, and kind of my perspective on life, because if I did a video on every single thing that went through my brain, you'd be getting a new upload notification every single hour. So this magazine is the perfect platform for that and for kind of my expression, along with talking about some of those things that I don't always address. It's called Inspire Magazine, and it's all about helping you live beautifully inside and out. The next question is from Leanne Lai, and she even says, I can't wait for the magazine to come out. I can't either. She says, is there any way that I can contribute or be involved? First up, yes, there is. As I mentioned, it's coming out on July 16th. Blah, 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 blah. January. J's, numbers, letters, stuff. The magazine is coming out on January 16th, and you can actually submit your ideas or an article that you've already written to magazine@cassandrabankson.com. Email me, say hi. I'm always looking for new authors and new writers to help contribute, and just send me something that you're passionate about that's inspiring, and let's make epic together. And even if you're not a writer or don't want to write, there are other ways that you can contribute. Something that I'm personally passionate about are change campaigns. I'm sure you've heard of something like change.org. You can literally change the world with one signature, and not all the time is that financial. And that's one of my tips for becoming a better person, is doing what you can to help other people out. There's a website called Thunderclap, which helps you share your ideas. Change.org is also a great one where you can sign campaigns, but I've actually created a Thunderclap campaign that surrounds the magazine. And basically what Thunderclap is a platform that allows you to donate your social media presence. But if there is a project or a campaign or a social issue that you're passionate about, Thunderclap allows you to share that message across your social media whenever that launch date is. So I have created one for Inspire Magazine, and if you're interested, please go check that out. I would love it if you were a part of this and shared. And of course, there are a bunch of other great life-changing campaigns on there. So every little thing we do counts. The next question is from Zaletia. She says, would you rather spend a lot of money on high-end makeup or get way more makeup for the same price at drug or dollar store? For me, that's completely dependent on the product. I have found some of my holy grails at the drugstore. If you saw my best of 2016 video, my favorite foundation of the entire year was from CoverGirl. It's like $7. It's the Clean Matte Foundation. I've also been loving the L'Oreal eyeliners and mascaras, but at the same time, there are some high-end palettes such as the Too Faced that smells like peaches that you just could never get at the drugstore. So personally, I would say a combination of both. And when you think about it, makeup is about you feeling your best and having fun. You're an artist. Your face is your canvas, and these products are your tools. You should be enjoying what you're doing. So make sure that you're using fun tools that you love to create something awesome. Cheryl asks, what is one thing that having acne has taught you? And for the longest time, I saw acne as a curse. Again, I was in this very negative mindset. This was terrible, this was miserable. And as I was going through acne and really starting my YouTube channel, it allowed me to connect to people. It allowed me to learn to love myself with and without makeup. And acne has shown me how to see beauty in everything and everyone. One thing that acne really taught me is how to be less judgmental of people. I was so judgmental of other people because I was so judgmental of myself. And when I learned to love myself with the acne and with my imperfections, it helped me radiate that love to other people. And I stopped judging people on their financial status. That was something that I did that I'm really ashamed of. I stopped judging people on their appearance. I stopped judging people on their personal religious choices or opinions. And I look back at myself and I'm sad for that girl that I was during that period of time, because it was just so close-minded. And it's like when you learn to love yourself and love others, the world is just such an amazing place. Like, it blows my mind. I'm bewildered every single day. And that's something that acne has taught me, how to be less judgmental and just how to spread love. So it's kind of weird to say, but I am grateful for it. And if it weren't for acne, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. And I freaking love you. Like, I love you. Like, there aren't even words in this English language that can express how much I enjoy sitting here talking to you, communicating with you, and just creating epic on the interwebs. And it's because of acne that I've had this opportunity. So yeah, I love my pimples. I want them gone, but I love my pimples. They're my little unicorn kisses. Alexandria says, I know you don't watch TV, but what are some of the movies you enjoy? Yeah, I really don't watch a lot of TV. My mom and dad never really let me when I was growing up. So that's a really hard question. Like, I've never seen Mean Girls. I like a lot of documentaries. I like a lot of, just search documentaries on Netflix. I also like Om Shed the Om, which is a Hindi movie. And I still think Ariel the Little Mermaid is like the best movie ever and deserves like 50 Oscars and Grammys, or I don't even know like what you call that award, but Ariel the Little Mermaid. Take it home. Faith asks, what is the scariest thing you've ever experienced? More power to you. Now, let me tell you, there are a lot of scary things that I've experienced, but the one that kind of comes to mind actually happened recently with my little brother. My little brother rides motorcycles, and my car was getting repaired in the shop, so I asked him for a ride to a BART station, which is the local transit here in San Francisco. And I've never ridden like on the back of his motorcycle before, and I was like, listen, Alex, you have to go slow, you have to be careful, do not go on the freeway. He's like, okay, I'll take care of you. So I get the bike helmet on, right? I hold on to him, I'm freaking out for dear life because it's literally us and pavement. you know, we're going along, going down the street. He starts doing wheelies and I like slap him on the back. I'm like, no! And he slowed down. I was like, okay, we can do this. Just holding on to my little brother for dear life, going down the road like this. Next thing you know, we go through town, past the stoplight. He starts to turn on the freeway. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, I told him not to go on the freeway. He told me he wasn't going on the freeway. We're going on the freeway. Holy shit. So we're on the freeway. I'm holding on to him for dear life and he's speeding in between other cars. There's literally this much space between me and another vehicle on both sides. And I'm sitting there freaking out. Then all of a sudden, my eyes start to get speckly. I start to get dizzy and feel lightheaded. And I'm literally sitting there on the back of my brother's motorcycle holding on. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna faint. I'm gonna faint. I'm gonna let go. I'm gonna fall off this motorcycle and a car is gonna hit me and I'm gonna be dead. And I'm sitting here praying to myself like, Cassandra, please don't faint. Please don't faint. Stay focused, stay focused. And like, I couldn't dip my head to get blood back into my head. I was so scared. Like literally black fuzzies started coming into my vision. So I'm sitting there shaking. I'm sweating like a dog and I'm trying to talk myself out of fainting. I'm like, you know what, Cassandra, you're fine. Look at how slow those cars are going behind you. Like, I'm sure that it's rush hour and it seems like we're going really fast, but maybe those cars are only going like 25 miles an hour because, you know, California traffic, and we're just going like 50. I'll be fine. You're okay. So I'm holding on. I peek over my brother's shoulder at the odometer. We're going 110. And I'm like, oh my God, these other cars are going at normal speed. We're gonna die. I'm literally shaking. We start to take the exit because it's only a few exits away and my hands are literally butter. I am sweating up a storm. I literally thought I was gonna die. So he parks at the corner. I stumble off the bike. I fall onto the ground and I just fall asleep. Right in front of a train station, right in front of multiple people, I literally get on the ground and I just, I start crying and I just fall asleep. I don't know if I fainted or just fell asleep. Next thing you know, my brother's shaking me and a bunch of strangers are standing around and they're like, are you okay? I'm like, yes, I'm fine. I thought I was gonna die. I'm gonna go take my train now and next time I am not gonna be this cheap and I'm gonna get myself a Uber. And that's probably the scariest thing that I've ever experienced. Like, that I was this close to death, and this was like a couple months ago. Terrifying. Terrifying. Zeladia asks, what would you consider your fashion style? Definitely very eclectic. I love trends, but I take them and I make them my own. Today I am wearing a nice shirt, the nice jacket, limited edition jewelry line, and pajama pants. Oops, I'm destroying the wall behind me. Don't mind me. Mika says, do you want to get married and have children? Just curious. I'm just curious too, and I don't know the answer to that question. First off, because of my anomaly, I don't know if it's possible for me to have children, but do I even want to have kids? I don't know. Ever since I was little, I never really knew if I wanted to be a mom or if I wanted to adopt or if I wanted to have kids naturally. I just never really knew. And to this day, I don't really know. But right now, I'm 24. I don't have to worry about having babies or adopting babies. I got 6 cats and 3 chickens. That's enough responsibility for now. Alyssa asks, what are some of your self-care pick-me-ups? And, you know, originally I was thinking about this and I was gonna say like beauty or like a face mask or a manicure, but honestly, my self-care pick-me-up is reading a book. I have so much going through my head all the time that just sitting down and becoming absorbed completely in something else is so beneficial to me. And like, sometimes when I do face masks or skincare, it's more of a chore than an actual pleasure, or like a manicure, a lot of times that's more of like a chore. And so when it really comes to my self-care, I love learning, I love reading, and I learn some great things when I read. So maybe that's a little non-traditional, but that is one of my self-care pick-me-ups. And if you have like a beehive in your brain and every single bee has a brain of its own that's like talking a million miles an hour, reading a book might do you some good. Might I recommend? Tatiana asks, what is your morning skincare regimen? I actually just posted a video about my morning and nighttime skincare routine, so if you haven't seen that, check the little information card or the link below. I show you all about what I'm using, and it's non-sponsored. I shouldn't even have to say that, but just in case you were wondering, non-sponsored. Next question is from Aline. What is your best advice from someone dealing with a mental health diagnosis? And one thing that I can say from my personal experience is don't let your diagnosis define you. Yes, this is a diagnosis. Yes, this is something you're dealing with and hopefully working through, but you are not your illness. You know, I'm Cassandra. I am not acne. You know, and especially like there's a family member of mine let's use an example. There was a family member of mine who had cancer. We didn't say Grandpa Joe is cancer. We said Grandpa Joe has cancer. There was another family member who was an alcoholic. And instead of saying this family member has alcoholism, it's, oh, well, XYZ is an alcoholic. And that makes it a lot harder to separate. If you say, I'm a person, I have this thing called cancer, I can get rid of it. If you say, well, I am this person and I am alcoholic, I am depressed, I am bipolar, it's a lot harder to separate. And a lot of that goes into the language and how we use wording and how we perceive that. But don't let that define you. And even if the doctors say this is an uncurable illness or something, miracles happen every day. New science is coming out every day. Stay optimistic, stay positive, because you never know how things will turn out. And that's one thing for me that was really helpful when I was battling some really depressive episodes, both in the hospital and out of the hospital. One of the best things for me was not fighting my feelings of depression, but acknowledging them, accepting them, and navigating them. Because if someone tells you like, oh, don't be depressed, it's like, yeah, easy for you to say. Like, there's a chemical imbalance in my head plus everything that's going on around me. But for me, it wasn't, I'm fighting my depression, it's I'm navigating it. I know it's here. I know I've got this for now, but I'm gonna see what I can do and how can I trudge through this and how can I learn from this experience and hopefully make my life better in the future and hopefully help other people, in the end, in the long term. So that's what I would say. Don't let it define you. Next question is from Amara. She says, Thunderclap, is that the name of your new magazine? Loving your YouTube channel. Can't wait for more content. Humor, good vibes, makeup advice, especially the DIY natural skincare. Let me know what you want and I'll post it. No, Thunderclap is not the name. The name is Inspire, but Thunderclap is what you can do to contribute. So click that link and become a part of this. It's awesome. I'm so sorry about that. My camera battery died. Next question. Do you really have two vaginas? Yes, I do. We've talked about this. I'll link you to a video. They say two is better than one, but let me tell you, period cramps, chocolate cravings, hormonal swings, two is not always better than one, my dear. Next question, will you marry me, baby? Okay, we are done here. I hope that you guys enjoyed this question and answer video. If I didn't answer your question or if you have a question, be sure to leave them in the comments. Again, you can ask me anything. And I'm thinking of doing these once a month. Let's do this on like the 11th of every month. And maybe we can do it in a different place every time. Like right now, I'm in my friend's house. You can't even tell. She just moved in. I'm so excited, but there's like packing boxes and furniture everywhere. Do you want to see? Like, let's take a little trip. Look at this. This is why YouTubers have backdrops, so you cannot see that their life is falling apart behind them. But she just moved in and she was so gracious to let me film here and like sleep over and move boxes because I love moving boxes. So look at guys, this is her new house. And maybe next month we can do one in like the streets of San Francisco or we can do one in Los Angeles. Tell me where we should do our next question and answer. Look at that little baby photo, knife. Girls are lethal, let me tell you. Anyways, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for spending time with me and allowing me to answer your questions. Ooh. I do post new videos every Monday and every Thursday, so be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. All of the links that I mentioned in this video will be in the bottom tab, as well as the email address so you can submit stuff, Thunderclap so that you can get involved, and of course my skincare routine. So go check that out. Leave a comment right now. Literally ask me whatever is on your mind. Do it. Do it. And we'll answer it next month. So I love you guys. Hope that you enjoyed this, and I will see you all in the next video. Love you guys. Mwah. Bye-bye.